Commander Taiho Park stood on the observation deck of the Cortex flagship, his eyes fixed on the blue-green planet below. Earth, the legendary birthplace of humans. The viewing window displayed enhanced images of cities, farms, and primitive flight vehicles. Nothing that suggested the advanced civilization mentioned in ancient records. Quite disappointing, isn't it? Admiral Jun Kim asked as he joined Taiho at the window. The scans show only basic technology, Taiho replied. Simple combustion rockets, digital networks, and renewable energy. Nothing close to interstellar capability. Admiral Jun nodded. The elders believed humans once traveled between stars. Yet here they are, barely reaching their own moon. The two Cortex officers watched a small Earth shuttle make its way to an orbital platform. Its propulsion systems were inefficient, its hull materials primitive. The Cortex ship could have vaporized it with a minimal energy discharge. Begin the resource survey, ordered Admiral Jun. The planet is rich with minerals and biological diversity. Perfect for harvesting. Taiho hesitated. Sir, the protection protocols do not apply to primitive species, Jun interrupted. These humans have no value to the Federation, except as labor and research subjects. Down on Earth, in a laboratory hidden beneath the mountains of what was once called South Korea, Dr. Hae-Newell studied the readings on her screen. The Cortex ships had arrived exactly as predicted. They're scanning our cities, her assistant Ji-1 Kang reported. The decoy technology is working perfectly. They see only what we want them to see. Hae-Newell nodded, her face calm despite the weight of the moment. 500,000 years of waiting had led to this day. She placed her palm on a hidden panel, and a section of the wall slid open to reveal an ancient device. It hummed softly as it activated for the first time in millennia. Alert Chairman Do-hyun, she said. Tell him the visitors have arrived and are behaving exactly as expected. In his office beneath the rebuilt city of Seoul, Chairman Do-hyun Choi received the message with practiced calm. He was the 20,042nd person to hold his position. Guardian of humanity's greatest secret. Is the defense grid still hidden? He asked General Sun Mayun, who stood at attention nearby. Yes, sir. Our surface technology remains at acceptable levels. They suspect nothing. The chairman moved to a window overlooking a vast underground hangar. Below, thousands of workers moved around an enormous vessel, one of many that had waited in secret for 500,000 years. We've maintained these ships since our ancestors decided to retreat from the stars, he said softly, generation after generation, keeping the technology alive while appearing primitive to any watchers. The general joined him at the window. The Cortex believes they've found an easy target. Their scans show exactly what we've been projecting. A young civilization barely reaching into space. Our ancestors were wise, Do-hyun said. They knew others would come eventually. Species driven by conquest always do. The Cortex flagship moved into a higher orbit, deploying smaller vessels to scan Earth's surface more thoroughly. In the mountain lab, Hae-Newell watched their movements on a three-dimensional display. They're following the standard Cortex invasion protocol, Ji-1 observed, just as the archives predicted. Hae-Newell touched another panel, revealing a timeline that stretched back 500,000 years. Our ancestors faced this choice: continue expanding across the galaxy and become conquerors, or retreat home and evolve differently. And they chose peace, Ji-1 said. They chose patience, Hae-Newell corrected. They saw what other advanced species became, predators like the Cortex. They decided humanity needed time to grow morally before returning to the stars. Deep beneath the ocean floor, in chambers that had remained sealed for thousands of generations, ancient power systems began their startup sequences. Similar activations happened beneath the ice of Antarctica, inside hollow mountains, and within what appeared to be natural asteroid formations throughout the solar system. In orbit, Taiho noticed something odd in the scan data. Admiral, I'm detecting unusual mineral concentrations near Earth's core. Valuable deposits. June asked with interest. No, sir. Regular patterns that don't match natural formations. Admiral June dismissed the concern. Focus on the invasion plan. We'll begin with a diplomatic approach, offer them cooperation while we position our forces. These humans will welcome us as advanced beings, never suspecting our true intentions. As night fell across Earth, Chairman Do-hyun sent a simple message to leaders hidden across the planet. The time approaches. Prepare Protocol Lazarus. The Cortex would soon discover that humanity hadn't lost its advanced technology. They had simply hidden it, waiting for this moment for 500,000 years. The diplomatic meeting was set for neutral ground, a simple wooden structure in the Swiss mountains. Chairman Do-hyun arrived early with a small delegation that included Dr. Hae-Nul Lee and General Sun Ma-yoon, both dressed in plain civilian clothes to hide their true roles. Remember, Do-hyun told them quietly, we are simple people, eager to learn from advanced visitors. Nothing more. The room was deliberately basic, wooden tables, handcrafted chairs, and minimal technology visible. The only modern touch was a basic translation device sitting on the table. It was, of course, far less sophisticated than what humanity could actually produce. The Cortex delegation arrived in a flash of light as their transport beam deposited Admiral June, Commander Taho, and 3 armed guards onto the meeting ground. They wore sleek uniforms made of materials that shifted colors in the sunlight. Their appearance was mostly humanoid, 2 arms, 2 legs, 1 head, but their skin had a blue-gray tone and their eyes were larger with vertical pupils. Do-hyun stepped forward and bowed deeply. Welcome to Earth. We are honored by your presence. Admiral June made a slight nod, the minimum courtesy his culture allowed. Your world has drawn the attention of the Cortex Federation. We have traveled far to meet you. The humans guided their visitors to the table. Taeho studied everything with sharp eyes, searching for hidden weapons or technology. He found none because the deception was perfect. The hidden sensors watching him were built into the wood itself, grown that way over decades. We have many questions, Hae-Nul said, playing the role of curious scientist perfectly. Your ships, your ability to travel between stars. These things seem like magic to us. Admiral June smiled thinly. All civilizations advance at different rates. The Cortex Federation wishes to help accelerate your development. That is most generous, Do-hyun replied, his voice filled with practiced gratitude. The Admiral placed a small device on the table. It projected images of massive Cortex ships harvesting resources from planets and moons. We propose an exchange. We will share select technologies with Earth, and in return, we request access to your natural resources. What kind of resources? General Sun Ma asked, letting a note of concern enter her voice. Nothing you would miss, Taeho assured them. Certain minerals, atmospheric compounds, biological samples. Perhaps a small percentage of your oceans. Hae-Nul widened her eyes in feigned amazement. You can transport water between worlds. That is simple for us. Admiral June said dismissively. We would take only 10%. The human delegation exchanged worried glances that were entirely for show. In truth, they had expected exactly this demand. We would need time to consider such a generous offer, Do-hyun said carefully. Of course, Admiral June replied. You have 3 of your Earth days. After the meeting, aboard their shuttle returning to orbit, Taeho turned to his superior. They accepted our demands too easily. Most primitive species panic when meeting advanced civilizations. Admiral June waved away the concern. Humans are known to be adaptable. Our historical records show they have always been quick to accept new realities. Still, their calm seems unusual. Focus on the invasion preparations, Commander. In 3 days, we begin resource extraction, whether they agree or not. Meanwhile, in their ground transport heading back to Seoul, the Earth delegation reviewed the meeting. The Cortex followed the expected pattern, Hae-Nul noted. They want our water, just as the ancient records predicted. General Sun Ma nodded. Their ships have moved into position around the planet, standard invasion formation. They'll strike in 3 days regardless of our answer. Chairman Du-hyun looked out at the passing countryside, fields of crops and simple homes hiding the vast network of advanced technology beneath. Our ancestors predicted this moment with remarkable accuracy. They knew species like the Cortex would eventually find us. In the deep facility below Seoul, Du-hyun convened the Global Council, 12 leaders representing Earth's unified regions. The chamber was ancient, built 500,000 years ago, when humanity decided to hide its true capabilities. The Cortex have made their first move, he informed them. They offer cooperation while positioning for invasion. Council member Jin Ho-seo from the Pacific region spoke up. Is our deception holding? Perfectly. General Sunmi confirmed. They see only what we want them to see, a young civilization barely reaching space. What they don't see, Hae Newell added, is the defense grid spanning the solar system, or the fleet waiting to be awakened. The Council voted unanimously to proceed with the plan laid down by their ancestors, continue the deception, allow the Cortex to believe they faced no significant resistance, and prepare the ancient fleet for reactivation. That night, as the Cortex ships circled Earth like hungry predators, deep beneath the surface, thousands of humans checked systems that had remained dormant for 500,000 years. In hangars hidden inside mountains and under oceans, mighty vessels hummed with quiet energy, ready to reveal themselves when the moment came. The trap was set. The Cortex would move forward with their invasion, never suspecting they were about to awaken the most powerful civilization the galaxy had ever known. The dawn broke over Tokyo as the first Cortex ships descended through Earth's atmosphere. They were sleek and predatory, their hulls gleaming with a metallic blue sheen as they cut through the clouds. Similar scenes played out over New York, London, Beijing, and a dozen other major cities around the world. Admiral Jun watched from the command center of his flagship. The humans have not responded to our ultimatum. Begin the invasion as planned. Screens showed the Earth's primitive defense forces mobilizing. Aircraft taking off from military bases, tanks rolling out of storage facilities, naval vessels changing course. All exactly what the Cortex expected from a civilization at this development stage. Their response is as predicted, Commander Tahoe reported. Limited air defenses, ground forces mobilizing. Nothing that can touch our ships. The first wave of Cortex dropships landed in strategic locations. Soldiers in powered armor exited the vessels, weapons ready. They expected resistance, but were met with surprisingly sparse and uncoordinated defense. Outside Seoul, a squad of Earth tanks fired upon the invaders. Their shells bounced harmlessly off the Cortex armor. The alien soldiers returned fire, their energy weapons cutting through the Earth vehicles like they were made of paper. This is barely a challenge, the Cortex squad leader reported. Local forces are retreating after minimal engagement. Similar reports came in from around the globe. Earth's militaries would fight briefly, then fall back in apparent disorder. Within hours, the Cortex had established beachheads on every continent. In his underground command center, Chairman Du-hyun and the Global Council watched the invasion unfold on holographic displays. The Cortex are following standard invasion protocol, General Sunmi reported. They targeted population centers and military installations first. They believe our retreat is disorganized panic. Council member Hae-jin from the African region spoke up. Our forces are withdrawing according to plan. Casualties are minimal. The Cortex believe they're facing a typical pre-interstellar civilization, Du-hyun said. They have no idea they're being led into a trap 500,000 years in the making. On the surface, the invasion continued. Cortex forces moved inland from their landing zones, meeting only token resistance. Admiral Jun was so pleased with the progress that he decided to land and inspect the conquest personally. He chose Seoul as his landing point, a symbolic first capture of a major Earth capital. His personal guard accompanied him as he walked through the partially evacuated city. Some humans had remained behind, watching the alien invaders with strange calm that June mistook for shock or awe. "Your planet now belongs to the Cortex Federation," he announced through his translator to a small crowd of observers. "Surrender will be rewarded with survival." An elderly woman stepped forward. "We understand," she said simply, then walked away. Something about her calm acceptance bothered Commander Tahoe, but he remained silent as they proceeded to what sensors identified as a government building. Inside, they found it mostly empty, with equipment removed and documents cleared. They fled quickly, Admiral June noted with satisfaction. "Perhaps too quickly," Tahoe murmured, but his superior ignored the comment. Deep below their feet, in a chamber the Cortex sensors couldn't detect, Chairman Do-hyun stood before the Global Council. The time had come for the most crucial decision in 500,000 years. The Cortex have committed their forces. They believe they face a defenseless world, he said. The moment our ancestors prepared for has arrived. The council members looked at each other. Their ancestors had retreated from galactic power deliberately, choosing to rebuild Earth and evolve their society away from the eyes of potential enemies. For 500,000 years, they had maintained the fiction of a slowly developing civilization, while secretly preserving their advanced technology. "Are we ready to reveal ourselves?" Council member Jinho asked. "Once we activate the fleet, we can never return to hiding." General Sunmi's voice was firm. "We have no choice. The Cortex will strip our planet if we don't act." Chairman Do-hyun nodded solemnly. "Then we are agreed. Activate Protocol Lazarus." Dr. Hae-Nul input the final command codes into the ancient system. Throughout Earth and the solar system, dormant facilities began powering up. Energy readings that had been carefully hidden for millennia suddenly became visible. On the surface, Admiral June was declaring victory when Commander Tahoe noticed strange readings on his scanner. "Sir, I'm detecting massive energy surges underground, all across the planet." Before June could respond, the ground beneath them trembled. Not from explosions or weapons fire, but from something enormous moving beneath the surface. The trap was sprung. Earth's hidden fleet was awakening. Commander Tahoe's scanner beeped frantically as the energy readings multiplied across the planet. "Admiral, something is happening." The ground trembled beneath their feet. At first, Admiral June thought it was an earthquake, a desperate attempt by the humans to use natural disasters against the invaders. Then he realized the trembling had a pattern, a rhythm, like massive machinery awakening. "Return to the ships," he ordered his ground forces. "Prepare for counterattack." But it was already too late. In the Himalayan mountains, what had appeared to be a natural formation suddenly split open. Massive doors, disguised for millennia as rock face, parted to reveal a hangar bay of impossible size. From within this ancient chamber rose a warship that dwarfed the largest Cortex vessel. Its surface gleamed with metal that had not tarnished in 500,000 years, preserved by technology the Cortex could barely comprehend. Similar scenes unfolded worldwide. In the Amazon rainforest, trees tilted and fell as the earth opened beneath them. From the Pacific Ocean, water erupted in a massive column as something enormous breached the surface. Not a sea creature, but a carrier vessel larger than any ever recorded in Cortex history. Captain Min-ji-ri sat in the command chair of the Earth battleship Phoenix as it ascended from its underground berth. Her uniform was simple but elegant, bearing insignia that had been preserved through countless generations. "All systems operational," reported her second officer. "Weapons are hot. Shields at full capacity." "Take us up," Min-ji ordered. "Coordinate with the other vessels. Follow the Lazarus protocol precisely." The Phoenix rose into the air, joining dozens of similar warships now emerging from hidden bases around the planet. They formed a defensive sphere around Earth, a show of force that had been meticulously planned for 500,000 years. In orbit, the Cortex invasion fleet suddenly found itself surrounded. Admiral June watched in horror as his tactical display filled with new contacts. Hundreds of them, then thousands, as more ships emerged from hiding places throughout the solar system. Impossible, he whispered. Where did they come from? The answer came moments later as his communications officer reported. Sir, we're receiving a transmission from within the asteroid belt. The main screen activated to show General Sun Mayun seated on the bridge of a massive command ship. She wore a formal military uniform now, all pretense of being the simple Earth official gone. Attention Cortex invasion forces, she said calmly. This is General Sun Mayun of the Earth Defense Fleet. Your unauthorized invasion of our planet has triggered our defensive protocols. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. Admiral June could barely contain his shock. What trickery is this? Humans are a primitive species. Sunma smiled slightly. That's what we wanted you to believe. What the entire galaxy has been led to believe for 500,000 years. The tactical display updated again as more Earth ships appeared. Massive vessels emerging from what had appeared to be ordinary asteroids, from beneath the surface of Mars, and from hiding places in Jupiter's shadow. You see now the truth, Sunmay continued. Humanity didn't lose its advanced technology. We chose to hide it, to retreat from galactic politics while we rebuilt our civilization differently. Commander Tahoe studied the Earth vessels with growing dread. Their design was unlike anything in Cortex records, yet somehow familiar, as if they had inspired the very ships the Cortex themselves use. Sir, he said quietly to Admiral June, these ships, they are using technology principles that form the basis of our own fleet. On the Phoenix, Captain Minji directed her ship into position above Seoul. The city's residents looked up in awe as the massive vessel revealed itself, their first glimpse of the technology their society had hidden for so long. Chairman Do-hyun is requesting transport to the command ship, Minji's communications officer reported. Prepare the shuttle, she ordered. Deep in his underground facility, Do-hyun prepared to join the fleet that his ancestors had built and his people had maintained through countless generations. He thought of all the chairmen before him who had lived and died never seeing the ships fly, only preserving them for this moment. In orbit, Admiral June faced a terrible realization. His invasion fleet, the pride of the Cortex military, was hopelessly outmatched. The Earth ships moved with precision and speed his vessels couldn't match. Their weapons charged with energy signatures his sensors couldn't properly read. Should we retreat, sir? Commander Tahoe asked. Before June could answer, a bright light engulfed the bridge. When it faded, Chairman Do-hyun stood before them, having transported directly through their supposedly impenetrable shields. Your invasion has failed, Do-hyun said simply. Now we need to talk about what happens next. Admiral June found himself seated in a meeting room aboard the Earth command ship Eternal Guardian. The chamber was both simple and elegant, with walls that seemed to shift between solid matter and transparent views of space. Chairman Do-hyun sat across from him, with General Sunmai and Captain Minji flanking their leader. Commander Tahoe sat beside his admiral, still trying to process how completely they had been deceived. I don't understand, Admiral Jones said, his voice lacking its former confidence. Our intelligence indicated Earth was a developing world with limited technology. Because that is what we wanted everyone to believe, Do-hyun explained. 500,000 years ago, humanity controlled a vast interstellar empire. Our technology was unmatched. Our ships could cross the galaxy in days. Dr. Hay-Newell entered the chamber carrying an ancient data crystal. She placed it on the table where it projected images of old Earth, massive cities that stretched into the skies, ships that dwarfed even the impressive vessels now protecting the planet. Then why retreat? Tahoe asked. Why hide all this power? Because of what we were becoming, Sunma answered. Our ancestors saw that their power was corrupting them. They were conquering rather than exploring, taking rather than sharing. Do-hyun nodded. They made a choice that no other advanced civilization had ever made, to step back from galactic dominance, to return home and rebuild not just their technology, but their culture and values. Outside the viewports, more Earth ships appeared as hidden facilities throughout the solar system continued to activate. Massive vessels emerged from Jupiter's moons, from the clouds of Saturn, and from stations hidden in the Kuiper Belt. The visible civilization you encountered on Earth was genuine, Haynul explained. Our ancestors decided that humanity would evolve again from basic technology, but with guidance from those who remembered the old ways. Each generation, a small number of us maintained the ancient knowledge and technology, waiting for the day when we would need it. Admiral June looked out at the Earth fleet, which now completely surrounded his invasion force. And that day is now. Yes, Du Hyun said simply. Your invasion forced our hand. We had hoped for more time. On the screens around them, reports showed Cortex ground forces surrendering across Earth. The humans treated their prisoners with surprising kindness, offering medical care and decent quarters while they awaited their fate. What happens now? Taiho asked. Will you destroy the Cortex in revenge? Captain Minji shook her head. That would defeat the purpose of everything we've worked for. We didn't hide for 500,000 years just to emerge as conquerors. Chairman Du Hyun stood and walked to the viewport. Beyond Earth's fleet, the stars beckoned. Worlds humanity had once ruled and had voluntarily abandoned. We offer the Cortex Federation a choice, he said. Return to your territory. Tell your leaders what you've seen here. Explain that Earth wishes to rejoin galactic society, not as conquerors, but as equals. And if they refuse? Admiral June asked. General Sunmi's expression hardened slightly. Then they will face what your invasion force faced today, but on a much larger scale. The ships you see represent only a fraction of our capability. Over the next several days, Earth revealed more of its hidden power. Ancient outposts throughout the solar system awakened fully. Space stations that had appeared to be natural moons shed their disguises. Defense systems that could redirect the energy of the sun itself stood ready if needed. Admiral June and Commander Taiho were allowed to send a message to the Cortex High Council, reporting what they had witnessed. The response came swiftly. The Federation would send diplomats immediately. On the day the Cortex diplomatic vessel arrived, Captain Minji stood on the observation deck of the Phoenix with Dr. Haynul. Do you think our ancestors would approve of what we're doing? Minji asked, watching Earth grow smaller as their ship moved to the meeting point beyond the moon. They didn't hide our technology to keep it forever hidden, Haynul replied. They hid it so we could reveal it when we were ready, when humanity had grown beyond the need to dominate. Chairman Du Hyun prepared his speech for the Cortex diplomats. The words would reshape the future of not just Earth, but the galaxy. Humanity was returning to the stars, bringing with them not just ancient technology, but the wisdom gained from 500,000 years of patience and growth. As the Cortex diplomatic ship approached, General Sunmi joined Du Hyun in the transport room, ready to beam aboard the Earth delegation. Are we truly ready for this? She asked quietly. Do Hyun smiled. Our ancestors trusted that this day would come. They believed we would be better than they were. Now we have the chance to prove them right. With a shimmer of light, they transported to meet their future among the stars.